Welcome back to Cheeky Crypto Uncensored. We're going to have a look at Near Protocol today. What's going on with Near's price action? Let's look at the hourly, the daily and the weekly timeframes. Check out everything that is going on. After all, we are starting to see some of these altcoins really gather some pace, making some fantastic gains. We are of course out having a little walk this morning, recording this intro in advance, something a little bit different. But first of all guys, let's run the intro and get straight on into today's video. What is going on guys? Welcome back. So we're going to talk about Near Protocol today. Let's have a look at its price action. So first of all, we'll jump over onto that hourly time frame like we spoke about in this morning's video, something a little bit different for you guys. Yeah, let's have a look at really what's going on here. Overall, this move to the upside, it has been fantastic so far. We have obviously seen that price push up towards the $2.60 level. Absolutely great to see. In my opinion, it is merely nesting a corrective move to the upside thus far. As we can see on the screen here, this WXY structure in itself. The most latest move to the upside, we can start to really micro analyze the move that is going on here. Once again, it is a bit of a corrective pattern. We can see this this push to the upside. If we could just actually grab onto this one, if it would let us do it, there we go. Grabbing on here from $1.28 to $1.80, bring it over to that next wick low. We can see we did hit that 1.236 level, getting rejected at $2.18.8. So from there, we can see we did have this nice correction to the downside, a double bottom scenario, which of course right on in here, we could really zoom into this one once again. We can see the double bottom here on the 21st of November, and then once again over here on the 28th of November, this double bottom scenario is obviously incredibly bullish when we do see these double bottoms tend to form on the charts right on in here. Well, from here I do expect to see quite an impressive move to the upside happen, and of course we can see that that has since occurred. Now, what does that price move overall tell us? Well, first of all, what we can do here is mark out a few key levels. So we can take this initial push to the upside all the way back here from the 19th of October and bring it over to that swing low. We know that we are targeting out between the 2.228 and the 2.535. We can see we have now exceeded that, and we are now pushing into WXY territory, pushing up towards that $2.74 level, the 1.382 Fibonacci. So we know we do potentially still have more in the tank here. Smart money concept on the hourly showing a weak high, a strong high and a weak low. Yeah, once again I will zoom into that one because I know it's quite small on the screen for you guys. A weak low and a strong high. So on the hourly, at least, smart money concept looks to have topped on out. Then we can look at the internal makeup of this move. So we know that we did start off corrective, and once again, let's just take that 100% move from $1.28.8 to $2.18.8, and we can bring that over to that next double bottom scenario like we showed, and we can see we have had a clean rejection of the 786 Fibonacci level. So not quite completing out here a 1-to-1 A, B and C structure. That would of course come up at $2.93, potentially still have the move up towards $2.93 to come. However, as of now, we will park the structure over here at the $2.60 level, where we did see this kind of push to the upside cap on out. Let's just make these make a little bit more sense. We'll change the colors so that we know that the teal blue is that internal count. Yeah, so the makeup of this Y wave once again is a corrective A, B and C structure within itself. When we come over and look at this most recent drop to the downside for Near, well, we have seen quite a volatile time. In particular, we did see this candle here on the 11th of December, a very steep drop to the downside. But more importantly, via smart money concepts, for the first time in quite a long time, changing that character to a bearish character for Near on the hourly time frame, Binance data source, just to reaffirm that one. So what does the structure within itself look like? Well, instantly what we can see is a nice low here on the 11th of December, down at $2.16.2. Then instantly after this, we then seen the next low point, not quite reaching the low from the 11th of December. So instantly that would tell us that the move finished here. However, I'm tending to think that this move actually finishes over here, and we have a typical truncated move. Now this within itself would look like a wave 1, if we could actually grab onto this one, I do apologise, a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4 and a wave 5, giving us a nice diagonal to start off this move to the downside on this internal count. Then from here we would obviously look at that as its wave 1. If we could grab the Fibonacci's, measure this one out, take its 100% move over to that next swing high, and we know of course we did break that 1.618 level down at $2.23.8. So we know we have now got the makeup here of a wave 1, a wave 2 and a wave 3. From here we would expect a wave 4 and a wave 5. However, we can see that this move here in this fifth wave has truncated, and something else that's obviously very glaring on the screen comes right on up here, as we can see the low of the wave 1 and the high of this wave 4. They are now intersecting one another. We have an overlap. So we have one of two things going on here. Either we look at this as a diagonal pattern, and it does look like the most likely play. Very steep wave 3, come up into wave 4, down into its wave 5, which we have seen truncated. It is not a very clean structure in my opinion. What we actually could be looking at is a big wave 4 down into this deeper wave 5 within itself. And the internal, makeup of this move here, we could look at this as a wave A, a wave B, and we've came up into this wave C right on into here for its wave 4, once again giving us the idea of a bit of a diagonal pattern here for near protocol. We can take the wicks here where we do look at this, a bit of a bit of a contracting diagonal going on here. I don't like the makeup overall. You can see obviously from the way this chart is getting put together here, it's not a simple, clear and concise structure like we tend to see. These impulsive structures are very easy to break down. When we do see these volatile big wicks to the downside, it is incredibly hard, to really structure these ones out. So the moves that have led on from here, but once again, I do think, we are still seeing moves to the downside. I do think once again we have a nice breakdown here with a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and we are coming down into this wave 5. Let's, for sanity, do our checks on this one. Take that wave 1 100% over to the wave 2 high of $2.35 exactly, and we can see that 1.618 was exactly hit here on that wave 3. From there, of course, we have then seen the move down into its the move up into its wave 4. If we were just to measure this one out once again, just to keep our sanity on this chart, well, we know we are pushing down into that fifth wave target area for near protocol on this hourly time frame between $2.19.9. Let's just put this one on accurately, $2.19.9 and $2.18.0. So we now know that that would be the typical target area for this particular 5-wave structure. Now obviously these structures within themselves, they must be nesting down. So perhaps this is the breakdown, or the first start of a breakdown for near protocol. Looking at the way the structure is playing out, we could look at this as an A wave, come up into its B wave, back down once again in a C wave, where we would then expect another 5-wave move to the downside, like so. The structure is played out previous to that. Once again, it has the makeup of a 5-wave move. However, the requirements internally I don't think are in fact a 5-wave move. It does look to be very corrective. However, when we look at that one right there, take it over to that wick low, we do hit the impulsive level. The internal makeup of this is not a nice structure. There's a lot of overlap. Personally, I want to look at this one as more of an A, B and C structure, with the internal count here being a bit of a diagonal, a bit of a flat correction. So the actual makeup of this move is not actually very nice. Yeah, near protocol, very tricky on this lower time frame. But we know overall we have came down in a 5-wave move. We will look for that corrective move to the upside. So as we can see the structure playing out, we were talking about this move to the upside being an A wave, this move coming down being a B wave. We could potentially be looking for that next C wave to the upside, aligning with the stochastic positioning here on the daily time frame. That in itself is looking for further moves to the upside. So yeah, overall, we can actually start to see this in a bit more clarity, what's playing out here for near protocol, aligning with the ideas from Smart Money Concepts, with that strong high, with that weak low, we can now see the clash here of the EMAs and the SMA, the 200 in white, the 50 in red, and the 50 SMA in green. So we can start to see the clash that's going on here. Very interesting levels here with the SMA in green, the EMA in red, both being 50s, sitting lower than the 200 in white. It is actually bearish. We can see that. Smart money concepts once again flipping bearish with a strong high with this weak low, and of course with that bearish break of structure. Now you guys know, when we do see these ones happen, or you should know by now, when we see these moves to the downside breaking out that structure, we tend to see a retracement, testing out the previous areas of volume before we do see that next move to the downside. So there is obviously, as always, a couple of ways this one could go. The most likely scenario is another push to the upside, aligning with the likes of the daily stochastic positioning. But yeah, on the lower time frames, this is the most likely scenario in my opinion. This 5-wave drop, a push to the upside followed by another move to the downside here for near on the hourly time frame. Now the daily time frame is actually sitting at a very interesting level. Once again, we can see on the Binance chart here that we have came up in a corrective move, this W, X and Y, pushing past its 1.236 Fibonacci level of $2.53.2. We can see on the daily though, we are trading above the 50 EMA in red, the 50 SMA in green, and the 200 EMA in white. The stochastic is oversold. When we look at the graph position of the stochastic, very much oversold, sorry. Yeah, it's in the territory looking for that next uptick. Volatility is also starting to bring itself back to the downside, so I do think we can continue that move down just a little bit more, like we've seen on that daily, that hourly time frame, before we see the daily pushing on up one more time. Ideally, I would like to see the target pushing here towards $2.74.3. This being the typical 1.382 Fibonacci level. Yeah, that would kind of align to this internal structure we are also looking at. The A, B and C structure. Previously we did talk about this move in itself truncating. We would also like to see this one finish its move to the upside before we do see, you know, any possible reversals for near. Now lastly today we will jump over onto that weekly time frame and have a speculative look at what is really going on. So far we have obviously seen a fantastic move to the upside for near, perhaps not as great as some others, but a 169.1% push nonetheless is very nice to see. But what I've marked up on the charts here are a few areas of interest that I have on this push to the upside. Now the first of all being this white line at $2.87.5. We can see this as a previous area of resistance and a previous area of support. So we've seen this one tested, especially here on the 6th of February and over here on the 13th of June, acting as support, turning it into resistance, coming up to test $2.87.5 on the Binance weekly chart, I think will be very important. Pushing through this level will of course be incredibly bullish. Finding rejection at $2.87 will be bearish, and obviously we will then target out the next moves to the downside from there. A retrace I do think is likely, but we can see on the weekly chart here the red 50 EMA at $2.03.5. We are now above, and of course the 50 SMA at $1.69.6. We are also trading above this one. So from the EMAs and SMAs, we have to look at this obviously as quite a good sign. We have broke above these levels. We have not been above these EMAs since over here May 2022, so that's obviously a really good sign, but I don't think this one will be lasting for all too long. I do think we will drop back down below there, considering the stochastic position of the weekly is overbought. We can see it has obviously looking for yeah, quite a move to the downside. The last time we've seen it this overbought, the move to the downside within itself, well, we did see around about a 65% drop. If we were to see something similar from this position, well, we would be looking at around about 8 to 9 cent for near. It seems quite hard to look at that kind of level just now. We will obviously have to give this one a bit of time to see if we are going to see these kind of prices drop down once again. The next level of interest I have is up here at $6.11. Once again, we found high resistance up here for near. Yeah, previously we did obviously have a bit of resistance here in May 2021, so it is once again another interesting level. Should we see the price come up there, if it can break above, well then we would obviously be looking at that next high point, $19.78.8, back here on the 4th of April 2022. Incredibly ambitious target to see the, the price go up there, But again, it's only a 787% push to the upside. Once again, I do think 𝗕𝗓 has potential to, you know, push up to these kind of levels. I think 𝗕𝗓 has a fantastic future ahead of it. So yeah, a retest of $19.78, a breakthrough from here. Well, I think 𝗕𝗓 has, you know, the chance to really go and do an impressive run, pushing past that all-time high of $20.59. So yes, it's just a, you know, a brief overview, a brief look at what's going on for 𝗕𝗓 protocol. Yeah. No specific targets for that macro time frame for myself personally. I want to see those key levels broke first, that $2.87, the $6.11, and of course the $20.59. I would like to see those levels tested. I would like to see those levels broke. If we do manage to break through them, then I do think, you know, there's some fantastic price appreciation coming for 𝗕𝗓 protocol. Once again, I think it's going to be a fantastic project in the next market, the bullish market. I do think it's going to go on and do phenomenally well. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on this though. Where are you targeting 𝗕𝗓 protocol to go? Have you got your investment? Are you packed your bags for 𝗕𝗓, or are you still looking to get into this one? Guys, please do let me know everything in the comments down below. As always, guys, if you're going to trade, please do trade safely. Have a nice tight stop loss. Make some great gains, staying safe in this space. And until next time, have a very nice day.
𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗧𝗧